them to run after the catch. We need them to have some more physical talent and ability to do that. It's like I said. I mean, where was Trevor Davis today? Outside of obviously the punt return stuff, which everyone that's a whole nother issue that we'll talk about, I'm sure. But getting a guy at least with some kind of speed out there, if you're going to do some of these, shorter type of routes. I mean, I do like the fact though that we targeted running backs 10 times today in the passing game. They had 7 catches between Jamal Williams and Aaron Jones. So I like that. I mean, good things happen. And then, like you said too, Jay, like we were talking about the ability of Aaron Rodgers or inability to sometimes not place those balls, on those different circle routes and in the flat to the running backs. Well, he did today. He did a much better job today. I'll give him credit there. And when they did that, you saw really positive results. I mean, that first drive alone showed you that. It works. You get the ball in Aaron Jones's hands in space. Heck yeah, that's going to be positive things for the offense all day long. So keep doing more of that. The tight ends were quiet today. That was kind of different.
Yeah, it was surprising.
You know what I thought about the tight ends? I thought, honestly, today, they got and this goes back to why I thought the offense got stagnant. They got too cute. They got to a point in the game where they got kind of up and cocky in the defense, and they started to get a little too cute and away from the things that got them those 21 points, and it seemed like it took them a long time to decide to quit getting cute. I mean, you're getting too cute on offense, Ryan, agree or disagree. When you have one of their premier pass rushers and you line up your worst blocking player on all the offense
when he motioned him in. Yep.
What the hell? That at that point is an absolute sign your offense is getting too damn cute. You're getting too full of yourself, and what the hell are you thinking? Like, that should, if that is ever on tape again, I feel like somebody should slap the taste out of Matt LaFleur and Aaron Rodgers' mouth. Like, that kind of shit should not be happening, especially with the way the game had been going at that. You're out-thinking yourself, and you're getting too cocky and too cute. That's the way I felt. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah, I mean, those types of things, I need to rewatch the game to really see how many times they did things like that to really know for sure. But I mean, obviously, I remember the one that you're talking about that sticks out because it didn't end well for the backers. I can tell you that. Yeah, I know it's hard when you're watching these games live. You're so into it as a fan. It's hard to really pay attention to all the different formations and who's doing what and what the responsibilities are. You got to kind of rewatch that, but I hear you.
Well, I'm also unlike Dave, who obviously is just, I don't know, sitting around drinking and watching the game and picking on me about my tweeting. I'm doing I'm doing 3 or 4 things at once, and then he's over here freaking picking on my grammatization and my tweet-balation of my word grammatization.
I never said grammatization.
So it's like, screw you, dude. I was actually writing with one hand and tweeting with my left hand and trying to peek up at the TV to make sure I didn't miss anything with my eyes. So, yeah, I was doing 4 things at once. Sorry, I misspelled a bunch of crap.
No, it wasn't that. It was the fact that I'm sitting there watching the game and I'm like, what the hell is that? I go, look, it's my phone, and Jay's tweeting 20 times in the first half, and I'm like, Jay, shut the hell up.
So, I want to mention some players that kind of stuck out to me from what, when I was watching live. Again, you got to rewatch the film to know for sure if you can trust what you are seeing with your eyes. But a couple players, Jair Alexander and Darnell Savage are going to be absolute superstars in this secondary, both of which were making plays left and right. Jair could have had many plays, then we'd really be singing his praises right now. But I mean, Savage forced a fumble. He forced that fumble early in the game. They recovered it, but he's the one. Yeah. He's the one who punched that out when he was being held. He came up to make the tackle, but as he's making the tackle, he he aggressively went for that ball, and he caused that. And then he also was the one who tipped the ball that Preston Smith ended up intercepting. So, Savage is making some plays. He's only going to get better. I mean, it's his second game as a rookie, but I mean, you're already seeing the difference between having an athletic ball hawking type of player who's also got that dog, he's got that swagger, he's got that mentality. Same with Jair, and having those two types of players for that secondary is going to be it's a game changer for this defense. They just haven't had that, and I'm so excited about both of those guys. So those two definitely stood out. And actually, Dean Lowry, he was making some plays today too. I thought he looked pretty good. He had a couple times where, at least for sure, one batted pass. I thought there was another one that I think he kind of touched it, and it was just enough.
He recovered
and it caused
a fumble.
That too, but then and then Diggs dropped a pass, which he was wide open. He probably would have scored on it and gone for a touchdown. But I think if you watch the replay, I think Lowry got just.
I felt the same way, Ryan.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just got his hand up a little over, and he watched Cousins just enough.
Yep. But then there's a couple times too where he was good. Him and Preston Smith were good on the on keeping their contain, and when Cousins would bootleg, they would keep him in check, and they caused Cousins to rush a throw into the ground basically. So I thought Lowry had a pretty solid game. I thought he looked pretty good. So that's always a good sign when you start getting contributions from him, outside of your normal, studs that you rely on every single game. So I thought that was good too. He stood out.
And can I just say this to be perfectly clear and fair to everybody out there that if you're doubting, when we're talking about Savage, we absolutely understand that he is going to make mistakes. And I even have in my note, that 75-yard touchdown run by Cook to score, that was really Darnell Savage's, that was on him. He took a bad angle. Yep. He made a rookie mistake.
That was a rookie, yeah.
Yeah, and he's going to, we've always said, he's going to have them. But to me, it's going to be 8+ awesome plays to every one of those. And when you have that type of ratio, that's what great players and great players make, and that's what I see in Savage. So, yes, don't try to go out there and act like you're going to call us out or call him out and point out negatives. I have plenty, and there's more than that in here. But his good plays and the plays that are positive and the plays that he does the right thing or makes the right judgment call far outweigh those so-called that I account for just rookie mistakes. And like you guys said, he didn't play preseason. This is really his second game. Can give the kid credit for those naysayers out there that I'm talking to right now. We're aware of his downfalls as a rookie.
Well, I actually got some players I want to mention, too, that really kind of took a factor out of the game for me for the Vikings was Adrian Amos and B.J. Goodson. Kyle Rudolph, I think, had, 1 or 2 catches? He usually kills us up and down the seam.
I can only think of 1 or 2 for sure, yeah. He, like I said, I thought, we said this, Dave, we thought we had the matchups across the board in defense, and it showed out today.
Rudolph had 3 targets for 9 yards. Usually he kills us up the seam. Amos and Goodson held him down, and that was a huge factor in that defense because, we always have trouble with tight ends. And week 1, Adam Shaheen didn't do anything for the Bears. Week 2, Rudolph went away. We finally have, as Ryan just said, we have safeties now. You can see it with not only Savage, Amos. Both of these guys can do their job and efficiently, and even if it's just a bend don't break syndrome, it showed today. Yeah, we gave up a couple big plays, but other than that, they were held in check. This defense was the real deal, folks.
Oh, and just a side note, for anybody that doesn't want to say or wants to say nitpick about some of the big plays and the results, score. Even in the old era that we just moved out of, 17 points was considered elite. They gave up 16. In the modern era of football, I've been told by many people much smarter than myself, 24 points is the modern era, point total that is the marker for the elite defense. Again, they gave up 16. That total for the last 2 weeks is 19 points. So, okay, yardage and everything else. Points, win or lose games, 19 in 2 weeks. Enough said.
9.5 point average a week.
Yeah, we'll take that all day long.
All day, especially with our offense.
Green Bay Nation, when's the last time over a 2-game stretch your defense has done anything close to that? Just
against divisional opponents at that.
Just to appreciate it, soak that in for a minute and think about that hard before you go negative. Because we're going to get negative too. That's what we do. It's part of what we do as analysts. But before we get into anything else, we need to give these guys their credit, because this kind of crap has been over a decade, like we've all said. This is 2 weeks. I know it's only 2 weeks, but they deserve your appreciation because they've won us 2 games. That's 9.5 points in over a 2-week stretch. That's elite beyond elite, guys, even in the modern era.
Absolutely. And
I got to say about it. Go ahead, Ryan.
If this offense can come together, and again, we all knew this was going to happen. We keep saying it over and over. We knew this was going to be how the season would start for this Packers team, just based on a lot of different factors and what we had been hearing and seeing, during training camp and preseason. We knew that this was going to be the case, most likely. But when that offense starts to finally start clicking, and when they start to getting it all figured out, this team can be scary good. It can be really, really good, because that defense to me is legit. People want to keep doubting it because the first week they're going to say, oh, it was against Mitch Trubisky. Now this week they're going to say, oh, well, Kirk Cousins sucks anyway. There's going to be all these excuses. Oh, you still gave up, 150 yards to Dalvin Cook. Well, he's damn good. That's going to happen to some teams this year because he's that good.
And
but
really it's 75 because 75 came off a one-rip run. So let's be clear about this. All the rest of those carries equaled 75 yards, which that's still a good defense. And that, like we just said, that 75-yard run would have been maybe a 20-yard run had a rookie made the correct play, and we're not going to get on him too much more than pointing out that he made a rookie mistake. So let's, tone it down. Again, 16 points, Points win games. They didn't get extra points for Dalvin Cook's 150-plus yards rushing. They didn't say, oh, you guys get an extra 5 points. We're going to overtime. It's not how this shit works. That's why I hate some of this crap when we're talking about it. They gave up 16 points at the end of the day. That's what matters.
Time of possession, too. I'm looking at now. We had 34 minutes time of possession to their 25. So, if with the old adage, the running game worked. Like Ryan said, the running game worked. Aaron Jones and Jamal Williams had themselves a day. That's 9 minutes over for time possession, especially against the Vikings team that was supposed to run the ball and keep Aaron Rodgers off the field. They couldn't get him off the field.
Yeah. Yep. And if once the offense starts clicking, that time of possession could have been even a larger discrepancy in our favor.
I can't wait till week 5 or week 6 when this offense just finally hits that third or fourth quarter of being together, and then bam, it just goes.
If that Packers defense is more fresh in the late third and into the fourth quarter, I think there's even more turnovers and more big plays happening. I just think they were getting tired because the Packers offense wasn't helping them. They were not doing them any favors, and they just weren't moving the ball and converting. So it's only going to get better. And if you keep that Packers defense fresh with all of those different guys that they can rotate in that are playmakers, I picked them up in fantasy just because I think they're going to be a turnover creating machine. They're going to get the sacks. Sacks are going to lead to turnovers. They're already showing they can hold teams out of the end zone and keep the scores low. They're going to be a legit top 10 defense, I feel like, this year.
It's showing it, man. The pass rush is there. We've only been needing to rush 4. We barely rush or blitz the 5th or 6th guy. It just depends on that passing down. When if it's like a third and deep one, that usually brings the house. But in most situations, we're watching them rush forward.